for an interview. The COREN President, Sadiq Zubair Abubakar. Many thanks for joining us, sir.
Thank you.
Now, the incessant collapse of buildings is a serious national issue needing attention. What could be the problem? Is it dilapidated buildings, substandard buildings, or materials, or is it the lack of certified civil engineers?
I believe the major reasons are not far-fetched. I think we have a mixture of quite a lot of issues. One, you can basically say the perspective of what we call substandard materials that has to do with the standards that we have in this country in terms of undersize, reinforcement, for instance, and then the hike of cement, and generally, the building materials that are responsible. This is one. We have also what we call the design factors that has to do with maybe faulty designs, and then you go basically to the construction supervision itself. And then there are basically, I think, what we seems to find out generally is alteration of buildings. When you have a design of one-story building, you make them 5, 6, 7, or a conversion of buildings, designs that are originally meant for residential, they now become commercial, or they become school, or you convert hotels to residential, and then increasing what you call the dead loads and what have you. Now, these are part of what we believe are responsible. And then you also talk about the quackery. The perspective of quackery, that is where we have not inadequacy of registered qualified professionals, because there are many professionals that are in the built environment. Beyond the engineers, we have the builders, we have the architects, we have the surveyors, and then quite a lot of them that are supposed to be registered, that are supposed to be regulated. The building industry has been dominated by quacks, and they are flourishing because of lack of effective legal and, if I may call it, regulatory framework to stem, this issue of quackery and the patronization of quackery by essentially the developers and the client who are going for cheap labor from unqualified professionals. Now, these are, I think, some of the key aspects. And of course, you may also say that we have dearth of laboratories, if I may also, point out that laboratories that are responsible for geotechnical and geophysical, investigation to establish the capability and carrying capacity of soils that you intend to put a structure on. We also have what we call a structural integrity test. Many of the laboratories that are supposed to be accredited are not accredited, and these services is being provided by quacks laboratories or by quack individuals, such that we don't have, if you like, a very robust system that establishes this structural integrity test, whether at a completion of a structure before occupation. Nigeria doesn't seem to have what we call integrity certification for a new building to be.
So many problems
quite a lot,
you're mentioning. What are the solutions, to solve this problem and, of course, save lives?
Of course, I may take the perspective of the regulation or the regulators. We have, for instance, the COREN, the COREN, the ACON, the surveyors, and what have you. Now, these actors that we have in the built environment need to sit down and harmonize and coordinate their actions. Similarly, what we have currently is we're having an uncoordinated action by the regulators within the built environment. And I think that is not healthy for the nation. This is one. Second, our materials. SON need a lot of assistance. We need to see how we can improve it to be able to stem the adulteration of building materials in terms of the manufacturing perspective. For instance, you go to market, you will see reinforced roads that are certified as 16 mm, for instance. When you measure them with a vernier caliper, you find that they're about 11, 12. And that's what we say. So the design specification doesn't seem to dovetail into the actual thing that we have during construction. And these are issues that we must recognize.
We need to address. Thank you very much. Because of time, we'll have to leave the conversation at this point, and we hope that the regulators will do the needful. Thank you very much, Sadiq, Zubair, Abubakar, for joining us on News Extra tonight.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure.
All right, let's